Hi everyone. We're going to do a collective reading in a Celtic cross. So we're going to look at crystals first, then I'll go right into that, okay? We're going to get an overall energy as well. Well, very guarded, very protected. Trying to switch into a lighter energy and healing. Um, Leaning on each other too. I feel that as far as the energy in the crystals. Let's get a smaller breakdown. Something has been said that made you protective. You're creatively trying to block it, but realizing that that's may need to change. That's what I got from the crystals. Okay, so let's look at the Celtic cross after we look at one of these. We'll get one for who? The collective energy, which is a pink opal. Be kind to yourself. So I have two more for the energy. Okay, Phantom Quartz, embrace change, which I felt. And then, okay. We have Pyrite, let the money flow in, and I think that's what you're doing. Maybe you're treating yourself. Set strong boundaries with that. Go with the flow, I want to say, with the change. And then a golden hero opening a door for you that you might not realize. This is in the collective. And find a way to forgive someone or something that you're dealing with and overcome the fears so you can do that. Those are the energies in crystal form, okay? And we're going to go right into the Celtic course, and then we're going to get a clarifier with that, okay? This is for a collective current energy Celtic cross. This would be you. The lovers. So a choice or a union, this could be a Gemini as well, what crosses over you is again another choice, a decision that's being halted for you. On the bottom of the deck, which is not the foundation, there's a guardingness, as you see, guarding. Also forgiveness. Foundation. The foundation. And the foundation. There may be a truce or something that you're dealing with. You're overloaded and overburdened in the foundation of something. In the recent past. Well, maybe there was teamwork, there was learning, there was creation. Sorry, guys, I was just painting. A moon, anyway. It was a moon I kept painting, but I painted this one before it, which is change. So anyway, in your past, there was something that you created with. You were working together. Maybe there's a couple of decisions you have to make in that. It seems to be getting overburdened with you. What's the crown thought? Crown thought. Crown thought. Well, you have remaining stuck. There's a delay. Don't worry. We'll get a clarifier. Let's see what your surrounding energies or the immediate future might hold. Immediate future. Immediate future for collective. Immediate future for collective. Okay, I'm taking that one and I'm taking that one. So how you look at it is like no matter how you juggle it, because your attitude together here is that you don't want to smooth it out. You don't want to do this. You lost your patience with the decision that you had to base. You don't even want to deal with it. Okay, that's in your, attitude there. That's in your immediate future. The outside energies of losing patience as well. Let's see if you were the worst fear, or what you wish the most would be there. What you don't wish the most. Current energies, please. Mhm. Well, there's a certain movement, you know, that it can go either way, and that's what I think the impatience is there for, because you don't know which way it's gonna go. Hmm. Let's look at the outside energy, your hopes and fears. The outside energy has movements. You know, they have ambition. They have a direction. They're determined. There's success. There's travel. There's willpower. There's a conquest. There's progress and hard work and focus. You know, and you don't want to look at that. Hmm. You feel you already have a victory, so you don't want to look at anything else. You're so focused that you don't want to look at anything else because you believe in yourself. I see that here. Outcome. Outcome. I like the victory before the outcome. Well, there's the hangman. You know, there's still an indecision with this. You know, something is up in the air. Make it 3 more on this. 3 more. 2 more. Thank you. On the bottom of the deck is the sun. So you really are confident. There's a confident energy here, and I felt that with the crystals. There's work, there's determination, there's two decisions to make, 2 paths to go down. There's a compromise here that's not happening. Someone's being stubborn. There's a last one standing attitude, you know. Somebody's very, very exhausted. You know, they want to make a retreat or they will withdraw, you know, and maybe this is where the teamwork stopped and then you feel you don't even want to work on it anymore. Let's get some clarifiers. Why is the Lovers here? Why is the Lovers here? The Lovers. These cards are very light, so they fall a lot. Well, the Lovers, you've got the Ace, you've got the Knight of Wands, so you've got movement in something that was hard to go through in the Foundation. You got movement and hard. There's something that was hard to go through. Let's see what this decision that you have. Oh, okay. The decision that crosses over you is that you're burdened with this, just like the Foundation says. What's the burden here? The burden. You're overloaded, you're overburdened. You have a lot of responsibilities and stress right now, and that's in your Foundation. It's like tower after tower after tower. You're trying to resist the toxic that comes with the towers. 2 more on that, please, on the Foundation. 2 more on the Foundation. Current energy. 2 more. Yeah, there's an unknown to it. You know, and there's an unknown stability to it. You know, there's an unknown move. Something that burdens you. Okay, let's see what you were working with teamwork in the past. Can I have the clarifier for the past, please? The teamwork, the learning, the creation, the determination, goals, rebuilding on success. Can I have one for the past? Current energies. One for the past. Well, something that they're holding, they're not willing to express. Let's see what the Crown Thought is. Why is the 6 of Swords reversed? You know, that's not smoothing it out, not completing it, not going to a harmony. Let's see. Getting worse before it gets better type thing. Yeah, there's a halt in that. You know, slowly and surely you're finding a way to smooth it out, even though the card's upside down, and that's how you feel. Can I have one more on that Page of Pentacles? Why they're present? Why is the Page of Pentacles present? For the 6 of Swords reversed. Can I have one on that, please? I gave you 2. Well, it's pain that, you know, you wish you didn't have to go through. You know, you got very unhappy and a pain that you can't do nothing about. You know, that you can't quite figure it out just yet. You know, it burdens you. One more on that. Yeah, Magician. You're trying to figure it out. Why is the juggling here? Financial distress, lack of balance, poor financial decisions, overwhelmed, financial losses. You know, there's a commitment to yourself that's unclear, or to this that you don't really want to do. That's your attitude. You don't want to start this Ace of Swords reverse. You want to face something. Why is the impatience here? Your outside energy has movement. But why the impatience for you? And why is temperance reversed here? Well, you're not clear with something. You know, or you feel they're not clear in their movement. You think what they say is untrue. You know, whoever you're dealing with. You know, you think they're manifesting something that you're not pleased with. There's a trust here, and you trust in yourself to move forward, to not to get sucked into maybe illusions. Why is the Chariot here for the outside energy? And one more on that. They're gonna give me the swords first. Yeah, swords first. There's a new beginning here happening for you. You know, and it's unclear for you, so you're anxious. You're very anxious. You know, you're not gonna trap yourself in something that you're not interested in. You're holding a lot back. You're holding back. You're not trapped in anything and you know it. And the unknown is that you're very stable. I mean, that's what spread out with that. But you have a new beginning here. The Ace of Coins, okay? Let's see what your outside energy and their movement, what they're doing. Outside energy. Is this for your outside energy? Now remember, they're working on something. They're waiting. They're trying to put their, they're refusing to compromise here in the immediate future. They're refusing to compromise. Outside energies. You also have the Chariot. There's an entrapment here. They have a lot of options. Maybe they got a judgment call upside down, but they also have the Six of Swords upside down. So that's clarified with both. So the hidden behind their beginning is they don't know something that you think they know. So it's a lack of confidence in here. Even though they're moving forward, there's a lack of confidence and they feel there's a entrapment. That's your outside energy, and there's movement with that. Because the Chariot's here, see? They don't think things are going to smooth out. They feel trapped, They have options. They're not using their judgment upright. Or they're not judging you in the correct way in their movement, So as far as I'm concerned, okay, let them think. But, here is your best hopes and your fears. And you have a victory card here. Let's clarify that. The patience and the waiting that you've done. Waiting, of course. You have an idea. You're leaving something behind, but you know it's okay. You have the start of an idea. You have movement. You're working on something. This could be work related or whatever, but you are working on something. You're planting your seeds correctly. You're coming with an offer. That's your fears and your and what you want the most. So you're afraid somebody will come with an offer. Maybe you don't like. What's the Hangman here for? In the outcome. Indecisions. What's the Hangman here for? What's the Hangman here for the collective? Well, again, it's something unclear. The King of Swords upside down. Why is the King of Swords upside down? Don't worry, we're going to get a clarifier yet. There's nostalgia from something from the past. you know, and that's trying to be planted in the outcome and the strategy and how to do that. Can I have one more on the final outcome in the movement? Don't worry, you do it. And without much effort, you do it. Okay, so that's good. So let's get some clarifiers on what this is about. You, how do you feel on this, please? You got nostalgia. You got memories. Okay? You got a past life soulmate. Something in the past. What crosses over them? Why so burdened? What crosses over them? Why so burdened? Ten of Wands energy. And to trust in divine time, which I think you're doing, and that's what you're crossing over. Even though there's an unknown in your foundation, there's stability in it. That's the unknown in it. Whatever confusion or illusions you think aren't there, they come upside down. So I like that. So you're very stable in your foundations. You're set forth in a clear-cut strategy on the foundation of this Celtic cross. So I like your confidence there. Even though in the past there was something they were holding. Let's see what that is. Why are they holding it in the past? If the High Priestess here in reverse, not revealing something. Disharmony. So disharmony in the past. Crown Thought. Crown Thought with the Magician. Ace of Fire. A new beginning. Immediate future. In the immediate future, you have egos being dropped. One more on that. And a balance. So maybe that's how your attitude is. You have an idea, you're going to drop emo. There's going to be a balance in karma with this. There's going to be a wish come true. There's going to be a cause and effect. There's going to be choices, wanting to make things right. You don't feel trapped. Again, Eight of Swords upside down, the same thing. You don't feel trapped. This came upside down. You don't feel trapped in a new beginning, even though it's unclear to you. You're free-spirited right there. You have a free spirit attitude. Can I have one more on that ace? One more. New cycles and fulfillment. Outside energy, how they feel. Outside energy in the Chariot movement. Well, keys on a ring, maybe they have an idea, but it's short-lived in their structure. Something, they're not being backed up with anything. So I wouldn't worry about your outside energy. Let's look at your best fears and your hopes. Let's look at that section, the Celtic cross. Letting go. In a way, you're not letting go. You're determined. You're gonna like the King of Coins here in the last clarifier. You're going to work on something. You have options. What's the final outcome with the Hangman? It's a Pisces and known energy too. You might be dealing with a Pisces. You got fire on the board. You got earth on the board. There's a twin flame here, and it come upside down. And the soul ties of this twin flame are separation. They're not as tight, or family come in, said hold, maybe it's not as tight. There's freedom from there, and that's okay too. One more. Mars, it will always be there, but there has been movement. So it's something that is very powerful, very, very strong movement. Something very significant happening from that Hangman, from that reflection. Your guard is coming up, your walls are coming down, but you're also realizing you're not attracted or to a person the way you were. I don't know what that one's about. Let's see why, maybe you're lowering your defense or you don't want to work on this anymore. Let's see that over here. Can I have one for that? Freedom keeps trying to spit its face out. On the bottom of the deck, there's an apology. Did it come in? Did it not? I don't know. There's nostalgia with it. But there's something faded for you. There's something faded for you. Can I have one on the faded? 3 on the faded. Wheel of Fortune, Karma cycles. Again, Karma came through twice with Fate and Fortune. Nope. Can I have one on the Fate, please? Hold. You don't want to fight. You kind of gave up here with something. Yeah, you don't want to work on it, Paige. There's something that you don't want to work on. And I think, you're doubting yourself. Don't doubt yourself. One drop of doubt wipes it all out, because you're a person that can handle a lot. It's something you're completing. You are stable. You already put illusions down. That's the unknown in you. You can organize, and you're fulfilled doing it. You can let go with somebody. It's like an attitude like, I got this, and only me, I got this. So it's a very strong, powerful, with the Mars, of course, over it, and taking it down for a minute. Maybe this is a person that's very, very, very eager to move forward. Let's see what crystal cards come out for you with this. Can I have one for the energy? An affirmation card for them. One for their energy, collective, direct. Aha! Past suffering was in there. One direct for the crystals. Well, we have a ruby, which is passion and love. We got harmony and growth with that. And we have a transformation with that, with Charlotte. Okay, we got Mascar, appetite. It's significantly Madagascar appetite. It promotes clarity and motivation. It stimulates the intellectual, encourages focus, and aligns with the throat chakra. This stone supports clear communication and self-expression. I am clear-minded and motivated to achieve my goals. Charlotte ignites transformation and insight. It clears old patterns, fosters spiritual growth, and aligns with the third eye chakra. The stone encourages inner vision and intuition. I embrace transformation and insight. The ruby ignites passion and love and enhances vitality and courage and sensuality. The crystal aligns with the root chakra, promoting emotional stability and grounding. I am passionate and filled with love. And then finally you have the ruby in zoisite, or a noylite, harmony and growth. Ruby is harmony and growth, and it combines the energy of ruby and zoilite. Promoting love, vitality, and personal development, this crystal encourages positive change and abundance. I embrace harmony and personal growth. This is what this has been about, even if there's a separation or an empty nest feeling here, because I feel that too. So it's going to be okay. And whoever you are, you have good karma coming to you. Okay, I enjoyed your reading. I hope you did, and thank you for stopping in, and I'll see you soon. Take care. 2408, that is to make a choice to stabilize a change. I like your energy. Okay, take care.